You draw your first breath in 13th century France. Fortune smiles upon you. The fields yield bounty. Christianity flourishes. The realm rests in relative peace. Your bloodline belongs to the minor nobility, neither wealthy enough for nightly banquets, nor impoverished enough for menial labor. You possess sustenance, garments, and dignity. This elevates you above 9/10 of the realm's souls. Your family serves in the royal household, working within the palace walls while bowing to those of greater fortune. At 14 winters, your uncle, a man of royal connections, secures you a position in the royal dining chamber. But temper your excitement. You shall not become a culinary master. Your destiny lies in becoming a professional food taster. Should someone attempt to poison His Majesty, you shall be the first to fall. Consider the privileges. You shall consume royal fare. Should you endure, the wages prove adequate. Yet understand this. Every morsel becomes a question. Shall I perish today? Should death claim you, you've preserved the king's life. Should you survive, all celebrate until tomorrow's meal. You arrive at your training expecting simplicity. Taste the cheese, survive, depart. Reality proves otherwise. Feeding the king resembles a military campaign. Hundreds ensure His Majesty receives no tainted grape. You, accustomed to commanding 10 servants, now answer to 10 masters with no authority whatsoever. Welcome to the royal bureaucracy. Then come the protocols. Your life depends upon mastering them. Never turn your back to the king. Always display your hands when tasting. Because if someone dies and suspicion falls upon you, execution awaits. You learn how royal food should appear, smell, and feel. Intimate enough with royal beef to detect when death has been added. After 3 years, your education deepens. You study poison identification, safe testing methods, becoming a living medieval laboratory. Your training spans 7 years, during which you master an unspoken skill, watching people. You become adept at catching glances, smirks, every false cough at the royal table. Because if someone desires the king dead, and you stand in their path, you might mysteriously fall ill next. Trust becomes everything. Any whisper of disloyalty means your end. After 7 years, you're finally prepared to serve officially as soon as someone dies. This is the Middle Ages. Advancement comes not from merit, but from vacancy. And vacancies involve someone collapsing mid-supper, foam upon their lips. That day arrives swiftly. On a quiet, rain-soaked evening, screaming shatters the calm. You rush to the kitchen, discovering 2 men convulsing on the floor, dying dramatically. They were food testers. Whatever they consumed was meant for the king. Guards storm in. People are searched, interrogated, dragged away in chains. Chaos reigns. No one departs. You remain awake until dawn, wondering if you're next. Then you're summoned. The Grand Maître d'Hôtel du Roi, the overseer of food-related life and death, informs you that your time has arrived. You and another trainee shall debut tonight during an active murder investigation. This isn't merely showing up to eat. This is an induction ceremony, a stress test disguised as tradition. You're observed by every steward, guard, and suspicious kitchen worker. One error means dismissal. One suspicious movement means imprisonment, or worse. You're terrified, but refusal isn't possible. You do the only thing one can in 13th century France: pray. Not for a long life, merely to survive this dinner. Night descends. You're summoned for your induction ceremony, led by the chaplain and chief steward. Elegant robes, grave faces, and a kitchen still bearing the scent of recent death. First, the oath. You stand trembling, pledging to protect the king with your life. Then comes the tasting test. You receive bread. Your fellow receives wine. You perform everything you've learned, sniffing, examining the bread as though your existence depends upon it. You take a bite. Nothing suspicious. It tastes like bread, but you notice something peculiar about the wine. Tiny bubbles fizzing slightly. Medieval wine shouldn't do this. You glance at your companion. He seems unconcerned, so you dismiss it. He trained as you did. Minutes later, he smiles at you. You smile back. Then he begins coughing blood. He collapses. Instant pandemonium. You freeze. Poison again. The second attempt within a day. This time successful. Servants scramble for antidote. Too late. He's gone. Then realization strikes. You saw it. You noticed the poison. You could have spoken but didn't. You assumed he'd noticed too. Another wave of chaos follows. Guards storming, questioning everyone. More arrests, more fear. Day 1. One man dead. You still standing, wondering how many more meals you'll survive. Days pass. The palace remains tense. Interrogations continue without resolution. But you know who did it. Before everything collapsed that night, you caught something. A quick twist in one servant's face. Barely there. After 7 years of training, you always notice. You say nothing. You have no proof, only instinct. So you break into her quarters, search her belongings like a thief, and discover it. The poison, sitting there as though it hadn't killed someone. You stare at it, heart racing. You could report this, become a hero, and possibly be thrown in a dungeon for tampering with evidence. Or worse, accused yourself. So you destroy it permanently. That way, no one else gets framed, including you. A week after the chaos, you finally begin your official duty. Here's the process. You eat first, then the head butler tastes again. Only then is it served to the king. It's exhausting. Every bite is a gamble. Every meal potentially fatal. After witnessing 2 tasters die and hiding a murder weapon, you realize this is safety now. Stressful, nerve-wracking, potentially lethal, but necessary. After months of nerve-wracking meals, something unexpected occurs. You begin to appreciate the king. Initially, you resented him. People were dying so he could enjoy roasted goose peacefully. And he didn't even know their names. Just that they came from families owing his grandfather loyalty. But observing him from a safe distance, you realize he's not heartless. He's merely a weary man attempting to govern a complicated kingdom while dodging poison, politics, and backstabbing guests. The real problem, those plotting to kill him. Suddenly, your duty isn't just about surviving. It's about protecting the one man everyone seeks to murder, and perhaps keeping yourself alive too. Over the years, your observation skills become legendary. You spot suspicious glances like a hawk. You practically smell betrayal before it materializes. Other testers keep falling, but not you. You survive repeatedly. Eventually, the king notices. He doesn't comprehend how you're still standing, but he's impressed. When the chief steward reports your record, the close calls prevented, the poison caught, the king rewards you with land. A noblewoman becomes your wife. You have children. Briefly, it feels like you've succeeded. But the catch, the more trusted you become, the more useful you are to everyone. Now, you're not just tasting food. You're the one people try bribing to poison it. They approach quietly with money, promises, threats. It'll be quick, they say. He won't suffer. You refuse every time. Then you report them. What happens after? You don't ask. You simply look away and return to inspecting bread for deadly microbubbles. Then, one ordinary morning, after the usual taste test, heading back to your quarters, it strikes. Not emotionally, physically. Your chest tightens, breath catches, vision blurs, and suddenly the floor approaches rapidly. You know it's not the food. This isn't poison's work. This is something worse. Your heart simply gives out. Clocking out mid-shift, you try getting help. Crawling, gasping, fighting. But your body has already signed its exit. You collapse before anyone sees you. By the time they find you, it's too late. The king assumes the worst. Another poisoning. A full investigation launches. Servants questioned. Rooms searched. Innocent people accused. Nothing is found. Because there was nothing to find. Just you. Dead of natural causes. Heart failure. Nature's poison. You died young, certainly. But compared to other food testers, you received the deluxe treatment. Most retired with foam in their mouths. You obtained land, love, and a quiet death with a full stomach. The king mourns you. Your wife raises your children. Your name is remembered not as traitor, nor victim, but as the one who actually made it, until you didn't. You lived well. You died better than most. In the end, you weren't just the one who tasted food. You were the one who beat the odds.